Chosen one, listen to me closely. This message is not for everyone. In fact, if someone is not walking the divine path of God, they won't even make it past the first minute. Only those who are truly chosen, truly awakened, and truly aligned with heaven will feel the pull to stay. If you are still here, it means your spirit recognizes this truth. This message reached you at the exact moment God needed it to. And before this video ends, you will understand why your recent pain has been so intense and who has been standing behind it. God has confirmed it. Before we go deeper, I want you to declare your presence. Go to the comments and type 777 as a sign that you are ready to receive divine clarity. Your engagement isn't just for the algorithm. It's a spiritual agreement that you are prepared for revelation. Chosen one, hear me. What I'm about to share has the power to shift your entire understanding of the battles you've been facing. You didn't click this video by accident. You were guided, you were summoned. There is a truth God has been trying to reveal to you, and tonight, your eyes will finally open. Make sure you subscribe to Spirit Guide, tap the bell icon, and share this message with another chosen soul who needs it. Now breathe, settle your spirit, and stay with me until the end. Your breakthrough starts now. The hidden source of your pain revealed. Chosen one, let me take you deeper. You've been carrying wounds that were never random. You've been fighting storms that didn't just appear out of nowhere, and for a long time you thought it was just life, just circumstances, or just another spiritual phase. But God needs you to understand something today. Your pain had a source, a very specific source. And that source was not simply the enemy in general. It was a particular person, a vessel the enemy used, a heart that willingly or unknowingly allowed darkness to work through them. You have wondered, why me? Why did this hurt so much? Why did this person have so much access to my peace? It's because the person behind your pain was someone you trusted, someone you opened your spirit to, someone who carried enough proximity to influence your emotions, your thoughts, and even your confidence. The enemy could not use just anyone against you. He needed someone close enough, familiar enough, and bold enough to strike in ways a stranger never could. And that is where your deepest confusion began. Chosen one, you are marked. You don't live a normal life. Your journey is spiritual from beginning to end. Everything around you, every person, every relationship, every conflict has a spiritual component. But the person behind your suffering wasn't spiritually awakened like you. They saw your light long before you understood your own power. They recognized the grace on your life even while you were still doubting it. And instead of celebrating you, they carried a quiet resentment. Instead of supporting your divine calling, they became a vessel of disruption. You may not have realized it at the time, but your spirit did. Every time you felt uneasy around them, every time your energy dropped when they entered the room, every time your intuition whispered, "Something is wrong," that was God signaling their assignment. But because of your love, your loyalty, and your purity, you ignored what your spirit already understood. You tried to see the good in them, even when heaven was showing you the truth. Your pain didn't come from an enemy you expected. It came from someone you never imagined could hold such power over your emotions. And that is why the wound cuts so deep. When you give someone access to your heart, they gain access to your vulnerability. When you open your soul, they gain access to your weaknesses. And when you trust someone who doesn't value your spirit, they become an open door for attack. The person behind your pain was not random. They were spiritually influenced. They were spiritually threatened by what you carry. And they were spiritually assigned to slow you down. Understand this clearly. The enemy will always use the person who can reach you the easiest. the one who knows your habits, the one who knows your insecurities, the one who knows your soft spots, the one who knows exactly how to shake your confidence. And in your recent season, that person was someone you allowed into your inner circle. God has been revealing their identity gradually, through moments of betrayal, through sudden misunderstandings, through unexpected emotional distance, through their inability to celebrate your wins, through their subtle envy, through their passive-aggressive comments, through the shift in their tone when your blessings increased. The signs were there. But your heart was too generous to see what your soul already knew. Your pain came from someone who carried secret frustration toward your purpose, someone who couldn't handle your spiritual growth, someone who felt overshadowed by your anointing. When God elevates a chosen one, people around you don't respond to the elevation. They respond to the weight of the glory resting on you. And not everyone can handle that. Some admire it, some honor it, but others resent it. And that resentment becomes an entry point for spiritual attacks. This is why your spirit felt drained after interacting with them. This is why peace left you when they were near. This is why you felt heavy, anxious, or spiritually unsettled without knowing why. They weren't attacking you with their hands. They were attacking you with their energy, with their intentions, with their hidden jealousy. What they wouldn't dare say out loud, they allowed to settle in their spirit. And as a chosen one, you are sensitive to the spiritual atmosphere of people's hearts. Understand this truth. God allowed the pain not to break you, but to awaken you. You needed clarity, you needed discernment, you needed separation. If God had revealed the identity of this person too early, you might have ignored it. You might have tried to fix the relationship. You might have justified their behavior, but the pain made their true intentions unmistakable. Chosen one, your spirit has been exhausted because you were fighting a battle. God never wanted you to fight alone. This person's energy became a spiritual weight on your soul. You were called to elevate, but they were holding you emotionally hostage. You were called to grow, but they were sowing seeds of doubt. You were called to shine, but they were uncomfortable with your light. Their mission, whether conscious or unconscious, was to distract you from your divine calling. Your pain became your teacher. Don't misunderstand it. It wasn't punishment, it wasn't weakness, it wasn't misfortune. It was revelation. It was God saying, "Look deeper, my child. Look at what this person is doing to your spirit. Look at how your energy shifts. Look at what I've been trying to show you." The truth is, you didn't lose this person. They were exposed. You didn't fail. You were freed. You didn't break down. You broke through. And now God is confirming their role in your suffering so you can finally release the guilt, the confusion, and the emotional weight you've been carrying. This revelation isn't meant to provoke anger. It's meant to liberate you. Because once you understand who has been behind your pain, your spirit becomes untouchable. The hidden source of your pain has now been brought to light. And from this moment forward, they no longer have access to your peace. God has removed the veil. Your eyes are open. Your spirit is awakened. Your journey is shifting. Chosen one, breathe. You're stepping into clarity now, and God is with you. Why this person targeted you spiritually? Chosen one, now that the source of your pain has been brought into the light, you must understand why this person was drawn to attack you in the first place. Pain without meaning leads to confusion, but pain with understanding leads to elevation. And God does not reveal the identity of someone who hurt you without revealing the spiritual motive behind their actions. Nothing you went through was random. Their behavior was not an accident. Their presence in your life was not coincidence. Every moment unfolded according to a deeper spiritual instruction, and today you will finally understand it. Chosen one, you carry something rare, something ancient, something divine, and long before you were aware of your calling, other people sensed it. The person who targeted you felt your power before you recognized it yourself. They felt the purity of your heart, they felt the strength of your spirit, they felt the weight of your destiny. And instead of honoring that spiritual inheritance, it awakened something dark within them. something that made them uncomfortable in your presence. Let me speak plainly. Your light irritated the shadows they carried. Every time you walked into the room, their insecurities rose to the surface. Every time you spoke with clarity or wisdom, it reminded them of what they lacked spiritually. Every time you grew, every time you healed, every time you evolved, it amplified the areas of their life where they remained stagnant, and instead of choosing self-reflection, they chose envy. Envy is one of the enemy's easiest gateways. It slips into the heart quietly, undetected, until it becomes a seed of destruction, and the person behind your pain, a person you may have loved, trusted, or even protected, allowed that seed to grow. When you are chosen, you do not have to harm anyone for them to develop resentment toward you. Your existence alone confronts their spiritual emptiness. Your elevation exposes their stagnation. Your growth challenges their comfort, and your divine anointing increases the spiritual pressure around them. But their targeting was deeper than jealousy. It was spiritual intimidation. They saw strength in you that you didn't even know you possessed. They saw resilience in you that made them question their own foundation. They saw blessings coming your way that they believed should have been theirs, and because they didn't understand spiritual alignment, they believed you were lucky, not chosen. They believed you were favored, not obedient. They didn't know the price you paid for your calling. They didn't grasp the sacrifices you made. So they moved from admiration to bitterness. Chosen one, people often think your battles come from those above you, but more often, they come from those who feel beneath you. They feel overshadowed, unheard, or unseen in your presence. Not because you try to overshadow them, but because your spirit naturally shines. You cannot dim the light God placed within you, and their spirit couldn't withstand that illumination. This person targeted you because they were spiritually threatened. They knew you were set apart. They felt the shift happening in your life. They saw your potential even when you doubted yourself. They saw your purpose before you fully embraced it. And instead of aligning with you, they opposed you. Your growth highlighted their unwillingness to grow. Your inner peace exposed their inner chaos. Your divine calling reminded them of the calling they ignored. But it goes even deeper, chosen one. Understand this truth. Some people are spiritually assigned to test you. Not because God wants you hurt, but because God wants you strengthened. The person who targeted you was influenced by forces they didn't comprehend. The enemy saw your future and panicked. He saw the doors about to open for you, the blessings being prepared, the anointing increasing, and he needed a distraction. So he used the most accessible vessel, someone close to you, someone emotionally tied to you, someone who had enough access to your heart that their betrayal would shake you. They didn't attack because you were weak. They attacked because you were destined. They didn't strike because you were vulnerable. They struck because your strength was rising. Every attack had one goal: to discourage you before you stepped into your next season, to confuse you so you wouldn't trust God's voice, to exhaust you so you wouldn't continue your divine assignment, to hurt you so deeply that you would question your own worth. Chosen one, you were never attacked because you were insignificant. You were attacked because you are essential. This person also targeted you because they could not control you. Your spirit outgrew their influence. Your mind awakened beyond their expectations. Your boundaries strengthened. Your discernment sharpened. And the more you evolved spiritually, the more they felt themselves losing grip over your life. Control is a fragile thing. The moment they realized they could no longer manipulate your emotions, guide your choices, or predict your reactions, they became threatened. Their ego feared your independence. Their spirit feared your awakening. They targeted you because they wanted to keep you small. Not consciously, perhaps, but spiritually. You rising meant they had to rise too, and they weren't willing to do that inner work. So they tried to keep you where they were comfortable. They belittled your dreams. They questioned your spiritual journey. They minimized your progress. They whispered doubts disguised as concern. They pulled you back whenever they sensed you climbing higher. Their mission was not to destroy your destiny, because destiny cannot be destroyed. Their mission was to delay it, to distract you long enough that you would miss your moment, to drain you enough that you would surrender your calling, to confuse you enough that you would question your purpose. But what they didn't understand is that everything they did only pushed you closer to God. Every attack deepened your connection with the divine. Every betrayal strengthened your intuition. Every disappointment purified your spirit. The more they tried to break you, the stronger you became. The more they tried to dim your light, the brighter it shone. Because chosen ones do not fall apart, they evolve. You must also understand this. This person was spiritually jealous of your relationship with God. They saw your prayers working. They saw your life shifting. They saw signs, synchronicities, and breakthroughs following you. And instead of seeking God themselves, they became envious of the divine favor surrounding you. That envy turned into spiritual opposition. They could not handle the idea that God chose you for a mission greater than their understanding. Chosen one, pause for a moment and reflect. Think about how they reacted when something good happened in your life. Did they celebrate, or did they grow silent? Did they support you, or did they distance themselves? Did they uplift you, or did they subtly criticize you? Their reactions revealed their motives. Their silence spoke louder than their words. Their energy betrayed their intentions. You may comment 333 if you feel your spirit confirming what you're hearing. The reason they targeted you is simple. You awakened something in them they were not ready to confront. Your light exposed their darkness. Your truth exposed their lies. Your purity exposed their hidden intentions. And instead of growing, they resisted. Instead of healing, they projected. Instead of evolving, they attacked. But chosen one, hear this with authority. God allowed their actions for your elevation. Their opposition was a necessary revelation. Their betrayal was a divine redirection. Their pain was a spiritual pruning. They were not meant to walk with you into your next season. They were not chosen for your journey. They were only chosen for your awakening. Now you know the truth, and now your spirit is free. God's confirmation. Signs you overlooked. Chosen one, now that you understand who was behind your pain and why they targeted you, it's time to face a deeper truth. God has been showing you the signs all along. You didn't stumble into this revelation suddenly. Heaven has been whispering to you, guiding you, and nudging your spirit, but you were too loyal, too loving, or too hopeful to see what was happening. Today, those overlooked signs will finally make sense. Chosen one, God does not allow betrayal without giving warnings. He does not allow spiritual attacks without sending signals. He does not reveal a truth like this without preparing your heart for it. The signs were subtle at first, barely noticeable, but they were there. You felt them in your spirit long before they manifested in your reality. The first sign God gave you was restlessness, a quiet disturbance in your soul whenever this person entered your space. You couldn't explain it, but your peace shifted, your energy dropped, your thoughts became cloudy, your intuition tightened inside your chest. That wasn't anxiety, that was spiritual sensitivity. Your spirit was detecting what your eyes couldn't see. Every chosen one has this gift, but most ignore it because they lead with compassion instead of discernment. You were trying to love someone God was trying to separate you from. The second sign was inconsistency. One moment this person acted supportive, loving, or friendly. The next moment they were cold, distant, irritated, or dismissive. Their mood changed depending on your elevation. When you struggled, they were comfortable. When you succeeded, they were triggered. When you healed, they grew uncomfortable. Pay attention to people who celebrate your pain but fall silent in your victory. Silence is not empty, it is a message. Another sign was the shift in their eyes. Not always hatred, not always anger, but something unsettled. Something they tried to hide. A flicker of envy, a shadow of resentment, a discomfort they couldn't mask. You felt it, but you told yourself you were overthinking. Let me tell you plainly, chosen ones rarely overthink. They overtrust. You weren't imagining things. You were spiritually discerning. God also confirmed the truth through dreams. Those strange, symbolic, or emotionally heavy dreams weren't random. The person who hurt you may have appeared in them in unusual ways, sometimes hostile, sometimes distant, sometimes trying to pull you back. You woke up confused, unable to explain the meaning, but those dreams were warnings. Dreams are one of God's earliest forms of communication, and chosen ones are sensitive to them. Another powerful sign was the sudden conflicts, arguments that made no sense, misunderstandings that felt exaggerated, situations that escalated out of nowhere. It wasn't just miscommunication, it was spiritual agitation. When someone carries negative intentions toward you, their energy can't stay hidden forever. Their words slip. Their reactions reveal them. Their tone exposes their heart. You also noticed how your blessings affected them. When something good happened in your life, their excitement was forced, delayed, or absent. When God began elevating you, they didn't smile the same. They didn't speak the same. Their spirit resisted your growth, and even though they tried to hide it, your intuition picked up every shift. Your soul reads energy before your mind interprets behavior. Chosen one, another sign you overlooked was blockage. Whenever you tried to make progress while connected to this person, obstacles intensified. Things moved slower. Opportunities slipped away. Confusion increased. This wasn't coincidence. Your elevation was being spiritually hindered because you were attached to someone with the wrong intentions. Sometimes God allows doors to remain closed because the person beside you is not meant to walk through them. Another overlooked sign was fatigue, not physical, but spiritual. After talking to them, you felt drained. After being around them, you felt heavy. After opening up to them, you felt exposed. The weight on your spirit didn't come from life, it came from their energy. You were pouring love into someone who was pouring emptiness back into you. God also confirmed the truth through conversations that didn't feel right. Have you noticed that something in your heart tightened when they spoke about your dreams? Did you ever feel uneasy when they gave you advice? Did their words feel discouraging even when they sounded polite? That tension in your spirit was divine warning. Another sign was isolation. God began pulling you away from certain situations, relationships, or groups without explanation. You found yourself spending more time alone, withdrawing from environments where this person was present. This wasn't depression, it was protection. God was repositioning you spiritually, removing you from familiar spaces so you could see the truth clearly. Then came unexpected clarity, small revelations, sudden realizations, thoughts that appeared out of nowhere. Your mind began connecting pieces you previously overlooked. A memory resurfaced. A moment made sense. A comment replayed in your mind with new meaning. These weren't coincidences, they were divine reminders. Chosen one, you may also recall moments when God sent confirmation through other people. Maybe a friend mentioned something. Maybe a stranger said something symbolic. Maybe someone warned you. Maybe someone you trust expressed concern. God uses people to validate what your spirit already knows. And then, when you were spiritually ready, the final sign appeared. Separation. Something forced distance between you and this person. Either their behavior worsened, or their mask slipped, or the relationship collapsed, or a situation pushed you apart. You might have seen it as heartbreak, disappointment, or injustice, but heaven saw it as deliverance. God will allow people to walk away when you refuse to let them go. Chosen one, the signs weren't new. Your clarity is new. You weren't blind. You were loyal. You weren't unaware. You were compassionate. You weren't weak. You were growing. And now your eyes are finally open. If your spirit is resonating right now, you may comment 999 as a sign of divine completion and spiritual closure. Understand this: God reveals truth in layers, not all at once. He prepares your heart before showing you the full picture. He strengthens your spirit before exposing the source of your pain. Everything he revealed prepared you for this moment of clarity, healing, and release. The signs were there, and now, chosen one, you will never overlook them again. The spiritual consequences they now face. Chosen one, now that the truth has been exposed and the signs have been brought to your awareness, you must understand something very important. There are consequences for hurting someone God has appointed, protected, and chosen. Divine justice is not delayed, it is precise. God does not overlook the suffering of his anointed ones. He watches, he measures, he waits for the appointed time. And when the season shifts, judgment begins to unfold. Let me speak clearly. The person behind your pain is now facing the spiritual consequences of what they allowed themselves to become. They thought they were hurting you, but they were actually hurting themselves. Because every action taken against a chosen one carries a spiritual weight far greater than they understood. When someone touches a chosen one with malicious intention, they touch something sacred. They touch something covered. They touch something protected by heaven itself. Chosen one, divine order is never broken. For a long time, it may have seemed like they were getting away with their behavior. It may have appeared that their manipulation, jealousy, or betrayal produced no repercussions. But God was not ignoring it. He was observing it. God allows certain actions to continue not because he is silent, but because he is collecting evidence. Heaven watches how people treat you, even when you don't. Understand this. There is a spiritual law that governs the lives of the chosen. When someone attacks you unjustly, they activate a divine reversal. Everything they sent your way begins circling back to them. The confusion they tried to place on you begins clouding their own mind. The emotional wounds they inflicted begin manifesting in their own relationships. The negativity they projected begins echoing through their own life. They are now experiencing what they planted. And the truth is, they may not even realize yet that their struggles are connected to how they treated you. They may think it's bad luck. They may think life suddenly turned on them. They may think people are mistreating them. But spiritually, the consequences are unfolding exactly as God designed. When a chosen one is wronged, heaven responds, slowly at first, and then all at once. One of the consequences they now face is exposure. Their hidden intentions are becoming visible to others. People who once admired them or trusted them are beginning to see their true character. The charm they used to manipulate is fading. The lies they told are unraveling. The masks they wore are slipping. God is revealing them not just to you, but to everyone connected to them. Exposure is one of the most painful forms of divine correction because it destroys the illusion they worked so hard to present. Another consequence they face is isolation. Those who once supported them are beginning to distance themselves. Friendships are falling apart. Alliances are breaking. Plans are collapsing. Their atmosphere is shifting, and they don't understand why. What they tried to do to you, God has turned it back on them. Where they once felt powerful, they now feel alone. Where they once felt in control, they now feel abandoned. Isolation is not punishment, it's purification. God is removing voices that fed their arrogance and actions that fed their ego. Another spiritual consequence is blocked blessings. Doors they expected to open are closing. Opportunities are slipping away. Every plan they try to build collapses before it begins. It's not because they are unlucky, it's because they interfered with a divine assignment. When someone tries to hinder a chosen one, their own path becomes hindered. What they wished against you becomes the very thing that visits their life. Chosen one, hear this carefully. Their life is experiencing imbalance because they disrupted your spiritual equilibrium. God is restoring balance, and restoration always begins with reversal. The disharmony they created in your life is now echoing back into theirs. The peace they attempted to steal from you is being removed from their atmosphere. The emotional turmoil they caused is now sitting on their spirit. Divine justice is not subtle, it is precise. They are also facing inner torment. Their conscience is no longer quiet, their spirit is unsettled, their mind is restless. They replay conversations, they replay decisions, they replay moments where they had the chance to treat you better but chose the opposite. Their guilt is becoming heavy, their regrets are surfacing, their heart is uneasy because they violated a spiritual boundary they never should have crossed. You may not see this happening externally, but internally they are not at peace. That is the hand of God. Another consequence is loss of spiritual protection. When someone mistreats a chosen one, they disconnect themselves from divine covering. Without even realizing it, they step outside of God's protective grace. Suddenly, the attacks they tried to launch against you begin attacking them. The chaos they tried to place on your life begins flooding theirs. They are spiritually exposed because the moment they turned against you, they turned against God's will for your life. Chosen one, this next part is important. God is not punishing them out of revenge. God is correcting them out of righteousness. Divine justice is not driven by anger. It is driven by balance. It is driven by truth. It is driven by alignment. They must face the consequences to learn that you cannot mistreat a chosen one without spiritual repercussions. God is using this season to teach them a lesson they avoided learning through gentler warnings. You were patient. You were forgiving. You were loyal. You tried to see the good in them. You tried to give them grace, but they used that grace as permission. And when people mistake grace for weakness, God steps in. He steps in to protect you. He steps in to defend you. He steps in to restore you. And while God is lifting you up, He is allowing their actions to fall back upon them. Another consequence they face is the loss of your presence. They may not understand it now, but losing a chosen one is a spiritual disaster. Your presence was a blessing. Your love was protection. Your energy was healing. Your compassion was elevation. When they mistreated you, they pushed away something divine without recognizing its value, and now they feel the absence. They feel the emptiness. They feel the loss of a spiritual covering they didn't appreciate. Chosen one, listen closely. You were never the one suffering alone. Heaven watched everything. Heaven recorded everything. Heaven remembered everything. And heaven responded in perfect timing. Their consequences are unfolding, not because you asked for justice, but because God is restoring divine order. God is rebalancing what was broken. God is shifting the spiritual atmosphere in your favor. This is not vengeance, it is alignment. And as their consequences unfold, yours are unfolding too, but in the opposite direction. While their doors close, yours begin to open. While their confusion grows, your clarity increases. While they experience loss, you experience elevation. That is the divine exchange. Chosen one, you are stepping into restoration while they step into revelation. And both are necessary. Both are divine. Both are part of God's perfect plan. Your story is rising. Their chapter is closing, and God is in control of it all. Your divine responsibility, moving forward. Chosen one, now that truth has been revealed and divine justice has begun its course, the next and most important stage begins, your responsibility moving forward. God does not reveal the hidden source of your pain simply so you can point fingers or carry resentment. He reveals it so you can rise with clarity, walk with wisdom, and step into the next season of your calling, without spiritual baggage attached to your spirit. Revelation is not the end, it is the beginning. Chosen one, your first responsibility is release. You cannot carry the weight of what happened into the future God is preparing for you. Release is not about pretending the pain didn't happen. Release is about refusing to let the pain define you. God has confirmed who was behind your suffering, not so you could hold on to bitterness, but so you could free your soul from confusion. Let clarity bring closure. Let truth bring peace. Do not allow resentment to become a new chain. You are too chosen to stay bound. Your second responsibility is forgiveness, not for their sake, for your spiritual health. Forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. Forgiveness does not mean trusting them again. Forgiveness simply means you refuse to carry their actions in your heart. When you forgive, you break the energetic link that keeps their influence tied to your spirit. Forgiveness is your liberation. It is your armor. It is your elevation. Chosen one, the next responsibility is discernment. The revelation you received was not meant to scare you, but to sharpen you. You are being trained to see beyond words, beyond smiles, beyond appearances. You now know what spiritual interference looks like. You now recognize the signs you once ignored. You now understand how energy shifts before betrayal. Discernment is spiritual intelligence, and you must use it wisely. Your next season will bring new faces, new opportunities, and new connections. But not everyone you meet will be aligned with your purpose. Walk with spiritual eyes open. Your fourth responsibility is setting boundaries. Chosen ones often suffer the most because they love the deepest. Your compassion is powerful, but without boundaries, it becomes a doorway for the wrong spirits to enter your life. Boundaries are not walls, they are spiritual filters. They protect your peace, your purpose, and your calling. Learn to say no. Learn to pull back when your spirit feels uneasy. Learn to protect yourself, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Boundaries are an act of self-respect and divine obedience. Chosen one, you must also embrace self-restoration. Your heart has been through battle. Your spirit has been stretched. Your mind has been tested. Now it is time to rebuild yourself from the inside out. Take time to reconnect with God without distraction. Take time to pour into yourself the love you freely poured into others. Take time to heal emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Restoration is not passive, it is intentional. You must choose healing daily. You must choose peace daily. You must choose yourself daily. Another responsibility is elevation. You cannot remain where you were spiritually. Pain was meant to push you higher, not keep you stagnant. Step into the version of yourself God has been preparing. Step into your purpose with boldness. Step into your calling with authority. Step into your mission with clarity. You have been purified through pain, strengthened through trials, awakened through betrayal. Now rise. Rise without hesitation. Rise without fear. Rise without apology. Your next level is calling you. Chosen one, your seventh responsibility is obedience. God removed, exposed, and revealed everything for a reason. Don't fight to stay connected to what God has separated you from. Don't return to environments your spirit outgrew. Don't reattach to people God has delivered you from. Obedience is not always easy, but it is always protective. When God closes a door, don't force it. When God exposes a heart, don't ignore it. When God says move, move. Obedience positions you for blessings, confusion once blocked. Your next responsibility is energetic alignment. Every chosen one carries a frequency, a divine vibration, and you must protect it. Surround yourself with people who uplift your spirit, not drain it. Choose conversations that inspire your growth, not diminish it. Engage in environments where your spirit feels safe. Seek alignment with people who honor God, honor truth, and honor your mission. When your energy is aligned, your path becomes clear. Chosen one, another responsibility is purpose activation. God didn't reveal your enemy. He revealed your assignment. You were not chosen to simply survive. You were chosen to transform. You have gifts that must be used. You have wisdom that must be shared. You have experiences that will heal others. Your pain is now a testimony. Your breakthrough is now a message. Your journey is now a ministry. Step into it. Activate it. Honor it. You are not chosen by accident. You are chosen by design. You must also acknowledge your responsibility of protecting your divine identity. The person behind your pain wanted you confused, discouraged, and spiritually disconnected because they wanted you to forget who you are. But now you know the truth. Stand firm in your identity. Remember your worth. Remember your value. Remember your calling. You are a spiritual warrior. You are a divine vessel. You are a chosen light in a world full of shadows. Never again allow someone to dim your glow. Another responsibility is silence and discretion. Chosen ones often reveal too much to the wrong people. Guard your plans. Guard your visions. Guard your blessings. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. The person behind your pain used the information you gave them. This time, speak less. Move quietly. Let your results speak. Your silence will protect what your spirit is building. Chosen one, your responsibility also includes gratitude, not for the pain, but for the growth it produced. Gratitude is a spiritual magnet. It brings more blessings, more clarity, more favor. When you thank God even for the lessons that hurt, you align yourself with higher purpose. Gratitude opens heavenly doors that bitterness keeps shut. Even in your suffering, God was with you. Even in your confusion, God was guiding you. Even in your heartbreak, God was protecting you. Finally, chosen one, your greatest responsibility moving forward is transformation. Do not return to the version of yourself that tolerated disrespect, ignored warnings, or dismissed intuition. Become the version of yourself that God always intended you to be: stronger, wiser, clearer, bolder, softer in spirit but sharper in discernment, more loving but less accessible, more grounded but less tolerating of negativity. Transformation is your reward. Transformation is your power. Transformation is your destiny. Chosen one, everything you have been through was preparing you for this responsibility. You are not stepping into your future blindly. You are stepping into it protected, enlightened, awakened, and equipped. This next chapter will not resemble the last one. This time, you walk with divine clarity. This time, you walk with spiritual authority. This time, you walk with the full awareness of who you are and what God has placed within you. Your responsibility moving forward is simple. Rise into your destiny, protect your spirit, and walk the path God has ordained for you with unshakable confidence. You are chosen. Act like it, live like it, rise like it. Final divine warning and empowerment. Chosen one, now that every layer has been revealed, every truth unraveled, and every hidden motive exposed, take a deep breath. Your spirit has received what it needed. This message didn't reach you by accident. It came to you at the exact moment God ordained, because you were finally ready to understand who was behind your pain and why God allowed it. Listen closely. You are not stepping out of this season wounded. You are stepping out awakened. You are not leaving this chapter confused. You are leaving it empowered. God did not uncover the truth to break your heart, but to free your soul. What once felt like betrayal now becomes clarity. What once felt like loss now becomes protection. You are no longer walking in the dark. The person behind your suffering is now behind you. Their influence is broken. Their power is gone. Their access is revoked. Your spirit is protected. Your path is blessed. And your future is unfolding with divine precision. Your responsibility now is to walk forward with authority. Do not look back. Do not reattach. Do not reopen doors God has closed. Chosen one, your journey from this point forward is elevated. The weight is lifted. The confusion is gone. Your discernment is sharpened. This is your turning point, your spiritual shift. God is moving you into a new season filled with clarity, favor, and purpose. If this message spoke to your spirit, make sure you subscribe to Spirit Guide, tap the bell icon, and share this message with another chosen soul who needs it. Walk boldly. Walk wisely. Walk as the chosen one you are. Your breakthrough begins now.